Guys, let's examine intelligence and bravery real quick. There's a lot of these feeds you guys show me on YouTube. Right? Muhammad Ali fighting Ken Norton. He was chiseled in stone and blah blah blah. And when Bruce Lee fought this, and Eddie Murphy's iconic suit destroyed by, and lots of this, when justice is misunderstood. I'm your Huckleberry and all the stuff with Val Kilmer playing Doc Holliday and stuff, right? Okay. And his Avengers Doomsday opening scene with Doctor Doom, right? Okay, guys, the bravest thing we have in what perceived as Western civilization, the bravest thing that ever happened, was a man named Jesus Christ stood before the Roman Empire and explained to them, you cannot get into groups that elect people authority and popularity contests that think they can justify mass murder to take what they want because their large group of might makes right justifies murder by declaring war on others, right? That's clinically insane, right? And he stands up and he does this. Of course, the Roman Empire takes him and turns him into Zeus, who we weren't worthy of his love, but he died to save us from our sins and paid for our sins. So there's a magic place in the sky, Valhalla, where we all go live with Jesus after we die because he was too good for us and he's better than us and he'll always be better than us, right? So you take bravery and you turn it into complete comic book Avengers Doomsday opening scene Doctor Doom bullshit. I'm your fucking Huckleberry, right? Look, you look like somebody just walked over your grave, Johnny Ringo. Right? And how the fuck is that brave? Okay. That's not standing up to hypocrisy and explaining to hypocrites, I'm not afraid of what you can do with your group contest of bureaucracy and accepted mass murder. I'm not afraid of what you can do to me. Okay? You crying over this clay? The nature of the spirit is what's beautiful, right? And they had this one idiot, one of the Billy Graham dudes, what does the Bible say about cremation? I don't give a fuck what you think the Bible says about cremation. Jesus says ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Let the dead bury the dead. You crying over this clay? I think that covers the whole cremation thing. And I think that kicks all your fucking propaganda stories about you're going to get chipped with 666 and it's going to send you to hell. Yeah, you're going to accept military intel and money as value and you're going to damn your children and yourself to hell. It's Blaise Pascal. It's not that hard. Islam is built different. Shocked. Okay, that video right there at the... That's not Islam. Okay. Islam is living the peace of Jesus Christ. Is that lady on that doing that? No. Are those idiots strapping themselves with C4 and blowing up buses in Tel Aviv? Is that living the Lord's Prayer? Is that living the faith of King Solomon and Father Abraham? Then why do you call it Islam? Christianity is living the bravery and the courage of faith of Jesus Christ. How are any of these people beating the shit out of other people or reenacting murdering each other to control the pimp culture of Tombstone, Arizona? That's brave. I'm your Huckleberry. Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave. Kate, you're not wearing a bustle. Right? It's stupid. Have you ever watched that movie? It's, Powers Movements. It's like a total bitch fit. You're like watching it going, it's like, damn. When I watched the first time, I was like, well, it's got flash and panache. And then I watched it again years later when I was older and more mature and experienced real Cochise County and real Tombstone and the real assholes that fancy themselves fucking heroes and brave, right? Land of the free and the home of the brave. And I go, God damn, it's like gang fight. We're going to a gang fight. Everybody put on your makeup. You ready? Okay, scene, ready, go. I can be myself. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to reenact courage if I were the king of the forest. Not Earl, not Prince, not Duke. I was waiting for the last video to load and I was soaking in the tub because I needed it. And I do feel better. Thank you very much. Not that anyone cares. And I was listening to Shark Tank and it's pathetic. Oh my gosh, it's pathetic. Yeah, these people, well, plastic's a big problem, so we're selling everything. I'll say, okay, forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful, peace. Share, care, given according to need, build to last. Okay. That took care of all your wrapping. I went to hell, they wrapped it in plastic, and they asked for money. Boom, boom. I tell you, I get no respect, right? And then we're getting golf balls, cleaning them off, and selling them back to rich people that discuss mass murdering people on the golf course. And you made $7 million doing the your revenue was seven, but you made 700,000, right? Because it's $7 million to do all this thing to recycle these golf balls, and then they make $700,000 after doing it after like 6 years. Do you understand? There's $7 million exchanging hands for these golf balls, but they went home with 700,000. Okay, and then the guys, well, if I give you more of this, you'll sell more golf balls, and you'll get golf balls. How many rich mass murderers can get together at the golf course and try to save money on their golf balls? Wait till they get a load of me, right? You're like sitting there watching going, what the fuck? And then they had this seashell thing with the 8647 or whatever, right? And you're like, what? And then the one guy, you cannot threaten to kill the president of the United States. But the president of the United States just killed 2 presidents of Iran. Okay, see, he can kill people's elected officials to take over the oil business in their country, right? Okay. But someone can't say, hey, stop doing that, or somebody will do it to you. Someone can't say that. I'm out of order, you out of order, we're all out of order. Ooh, scent of a woman, right? Look, Pacino movies, huh? Guys, okay. You don't have to send a mass murderer to hell. They live there. Life is eternal, grace is infinite. Heaven and hell are states of being, if you understand the Big Bang Theory, but they don't explain it. You're not smart enough to get Rabbi Wolpe. Rabbi Wolpe's not intelligent enough to understand what he thinks he's saying. He had some things on Facebook, though the Messiah's like this. Oh, really? The Messiah's like what? You haven't said anything resembling the Messiah. The Messiah got up to the Roman Empire and said, you're not gods and you're not human authority, and you can't get together in a large murdering group and declare war on us and kill us because we won't accept you as human authority. You can murder us, but that doesn't take our faith away, and that doesn't make your mass murder the will of God. Okay? As you perceive the will of God, it's the essence of life and what's needed to sustain life so we can worship God. Okay? If you put your murdering brain on a robot and become Starscream and Megatron, that doesn't make your brain God. It just means you're an abomination to the life given to you by God because you couldn't live it faithfully. Right? So 86, all y'all, okay, that can't forgive debt and trespass and love one another, eternal faithful peace, right? 86, all y'all, right? And what does that mean? Get rid of them. Kill the liar in your head so it doesn't mass murder your children over your money. Can you do that? The only good liar is a dead liar, right? So you can kill the liar in your head. Holy jihad, Batman. There you go. The inner struggle. Okay. So eliminate the liar in your head so you don't mass murder people to corner the market on idolatry. Okay. I am the bravest man in the 21st century. Right? I'm not afraid to say that which is right, to save Donald Trump and his children from Donald Trump's ego, to save Jimmy Kimmel from telling jokes about people being mass murdered so he can make millions of dollars off the propaganda, right? He's an asshole. Okay. Trump will tell you what an asshole Jimmy Kimmel is because an asshole should know an asshole, right? Like Charles and you can ring my bell. I like Anita Ward too. You can ring my bell, ring my bell, my bell. And all this propaganda and all this bullshit. You guys should be embarrassed, like those people recruiting New Mexico State Police in front of me. I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. Do you know what I've done and what I'm still doing to stop people from being mass murdered over fighting over money and murdering each other over money? And you have the audacity to go and train to inflict extortion and exploitation on your fellow human beings and have people tell you, you're a public servant. You serve and protect. Right? What's the difference between 86 and 187? It's all just numbers, right? It's all just people giving a code. 1 out of 12, 1 out of 12. We have a 357 in progress. Okay. Forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faithful peace. Martin Milner is lighting the fire. And they're both going outside and smelling the flowers. Smell the flowers. Because they didn't put the flowers in the pot that he bought today. Because you don't buy flowers. You provide flowers for the hummingbirds and the butterflies, right? That's what me and Dad do. Right? We don't cut them. We let them do their things, and then they fertilize, and we go on, and then we do more stuff, and we get them back bigger and more every year. It's a good year for the roses. It is. They're pretty. And our birds and our butterflies love them. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know if they love them. Well, they need them to live. Bernadette, right? And they really appreciate us for doing it. And the butterflies are always around. Every time we go outside, we talk to the butterflies. Well, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm good. Thanks for watering the flowers. You're welcome. Okay. I think we might get natural water tomorrow. We just might come from the sky. If Harps is kind to us. You're funny. I know. Okay? So you got to help people. Okay? If you can't help Donald Trump be a better person, what makes you think you're a better person than he is? Right? What makes you think Donald Trump loaded that propaganda on his phone at 4 a.m? How do you know it wasn't military intel that you're scared shitless of and won't talk about in public either, Timmy Kimmel? Come on now, baby. Come on now, baby. Should I thank the George Clooney neurosurgeon nurse, his son, for keeping me safe in the Air Force? Or should they both thank me for protecting them from being targeted for genocide from corporate corruption? Because there are no more governments anymore. Dr. Evil doesn't get it. It's all just corporations, right? I'm a comedian. It's funny. I can't do Donald Trump real well. I can kind of do Obama, yeah. George Bush, yeah. Both George Bushes are pretty good at. Clinton, yeah, I probably can do Clinton better than I can do Obama. But yeah. No, I don't do Trump really well. He has a different kind of cadence and stuff to his talk. Yeah, it's not that I don't defy it. No, that's the Mexican kid in the wheelchair at Latch. You're fired. He was so funny. I forgot his name. He was the sweetest. He was hilarious. Me and Marcus always fought. We go out and try to do anything just to get fired. And Marcus, you saw him more. That's no fair. I got fired 7 times. I only got fired 3 times. Shit. We had a contest who could get fired the most. It was so funny. And then me and Marcus both had to quit. And it was hard because those kids, they had disabilities and they became real attached to us. And when we had to leave, it was real emotionally difficult on them. And that's one of the things that Daryl told us, and I wanted to stay. But we couldn't because of things that were the military was in the Mormon church and other people like that were doing to Amy. And the thing was we didn't need to stay there. We were right in the epicenter of Phoenix, and it's horrible pollution, and it's horrible. When we got out and got to Cruces, then got to Santa Fe and Sheridan and Cochise County, physiologically it was real good for our kids. But the sexual predication and the abuse and the neglect of the kids when I was working and Amy was at home with them, with Emily's teeth and Kate's teeth and stuff, that was hard. But, it was weird because people didn't think I was hard enough on Amy. I knew something was wrong. And then, like I said, when I went to Sierra Vista and they all challenged me and exposed themselves to me, I went, oh, God. I used to think my wives and my family were batshit crazy. Now I realize it's these assholes at Fort Huachuca. It didn't make me feel any better. No, but it made me understand my family a lot better. It made me realize my family's not crazy. The people that are abusing them are. Okay. And then that gave me hope, because life being eternal and grace being infinite. It gave real hope that, because it's like I always tell Jennifer Lopez, it's not your body I'm interested in, it's the nature of the spirit, right? No, I'm not saying that to be, I'm a very controlled, rational human being, Like my dad told me when I was a kid, if a woman's into you, she'll let you know, right? And if she's into you, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. So if you're going to be with somebody intimately, it might well be with someone you care about. But my biggest thing was, like me and Mike talked about, it better be with someone that you can trust completely to faithfully love you as capably as you're capable of faithfully loving her, right? And so, that's why I'm interested in the nature of the spirit and not anybody's flesh right now. Because I'm holding my flesh together in the bowels of hell because no one's as faithful and loving as I am. And I understand that. And I'm not all right with that, but I'm going to have to be patient and be kind and do what I got to do to help people be liberated from their own insanity, even if I have to do it, largely by myself with help through people in the past and in the future, really largely in the future. That's what I pray to Jesus about all the time. Jesus, can you and all the faithful in the future help me through this? Help me, and Earl, he goes, Earl, we can only move as fast as our slowest soldier. We can only, we can, like you say all the time, you can't live the gospels for other people. You can only live them for yourself. But you are the correction for the technology. But you got to understand, you have a lot of people distracted by their selfishness, and the people that keep them distracted by the selfishness are the people that are responsible for the technology having us all be distracted by selfishness and all this bullshit, right? And it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Like Dana's little boy said, and then they talked to me on, your mom's doing this. I said, no, I'm not saying I'm, and they were telling me, when you're doing this with mom, I said, I'm not doing that with mom. I'm trying to encourage your mom to be healthy and stay healthy and not be abused by people that are trying to take advantage of her and abuse her. And I'm always rational when I talk to people. Even when I get upset and angry, I'm still rational. Will Smith is a fraud, destroyed by Rob Snyder for what? Okay, do you both make money for propaganda? Are you either one of you standing up for Lord's Prayer? Okay. Wake her ass up. We want to win tomorrow. No. Cut his fucking head off. I'd like to have him prosecuted. I think he wants to kill me. Okay, do you understand? It's nuts. Don't prosecute anybody. Just stand up and live the Lord's Prayer. Okay. And stop, putting stupid things available to people. Okay. Everything that we do, the trends, like watching this right here. Lion. Chessboard of existence. That right there. Okay. Just that. Okay. On this chessboard of existence, right? Just that right there. Okay. Making entertainment out of animals devouring each other. Okay. Just that. Okay. Making entertainment out of this to sell products. Okay. To hold housing hostage. All right. to have mortgages, to have people in domiciles that they rarely spend quality time together in those domiciles, getting to really love and know one another. Because when they sit down, they sit and listen to this idiot with a British accent talk about this shit, right? And they sit and watch this stuff. And Teresa and Pat would sit and watch those things, those faces of death. And it's like, why are you watching that? Guys, it happens, right? But I don't want to derive entertainment from it, right? I know animals eat each other. I know people, I've worked in a meat market, so I know, mom flirts with Manny at JMP to get the best cuts of meat. I know that. Okay. It's cute. But Manny was a nice guy. The butcher, yeah, I liked him. But he was real nice to us too. He liked kids. But yeah, no, you don't need to derive entertainment from this. You know what happens. Okay? You don't need to make entertainment of applying human traits to animals to sell products to feel special and important. Donovan, some men can't stop them working in the devil workshop and to feel all important. They got no love for one another. Disrespect their mothers. And to honor thy mother and father. Have faith in the glory of God. Okay? They had a holy covenant so you can share your faith in the glory of God. So children can live loving, peaceful lives, not fighting or competing or comparing, but sharing the world together with the freedom from extortion of the Lord's Prayer and the freedom of faith in the truth of our existence through faithful love that we can sustain as human beings through obeying and understanding natural laws with great empathy and respect, right? I wonder if Blue Ivy Carter's going to watch this one. Okay. You don't need to make a Lion King or a Mufasa movie. They're the wild boars getting eaten by a leopard. Yeah. And it happens, and it's umbaya, pickle paya. It's a circle of life, right? Pumbaa just got ate by a leopard. And now Timon's going to be really sad. Well, I thought those were big balls of gas. And now they're explaining to you how the jaw works and how the brain works and how the teeth work. Okay. And it's when I think about all the crap I learned in high school, it's a wonder I can think at all. And then you wonder, okay, why these people shoot at one another, why they're so excited to get scratched by a monkey and then go mass murder people in Iran for oil products. And so the dumbass on the Shark Tank, well, I got to make a profit off it. There's no profit margin in grocery. Like the guy from the CIA told me in Sierra Vista, there's no money in grocery. There's no grocery. There's no money. You don't eat, you die. That's why the leopard's eating the Pumbaa. Yeah. Huma pickle paya. Stop making entertainment out of your perception of life. Okay? You don't need to be in a Jeep, in a vehicle, going out and harassing animals with your perception of science and entertainment. You're an asshole, right? You're as dumb as Neil deGrasse Tyson and William Shatner and those guys that, okay, Calypso kind of calypsed a long ass fucking time ago. Jane Goodall had good intentions, okay? But she was dumb as a box of fucking rocks. You can ring my bell, ring my bell. Okay, do you understand? Okay. When you're as dumb as a box of rocks, you are easily distracted and entertained by things that don't largely concern you. Okay. Nature takes care of itself. Okay. How do you take care of yourself? By making sure that nature, in taking care of itself, can help, take care of you. Okay. Watching the hyenas murder, you're not murder, eat the leopard. Okay. Leopards eat hyenas. Okay. The leopard is wounded, and so the hyenas are going after it. Right? And they're going to finish it off. They're going to kill it. Okay, because there's a lot of them. And they're going after this leopard and they're going to eat it. Okay. They do that. Oh, that was pretty good. You did it, buddy. You got up in that tree. Then they'll leave. They'll eventually get tired and try to find something else to eat. Yeah. They'll sit and wait. Yeah. Because, well, they're like people in the military, you know. We can't get them to do anything they don't want to do. We can program them like we're programming a video game. They're like dogs. Parson, does that make you a dog? No, I'm a man. Okay. So, guys, you got to understand, all you people on TV with British accents doing documentaries, okay, this anonymous man on this 13/22 in me channel, that was put in there for the 13/22. I read that in a book on Islamic prophecy. I established this YouTube channel to give people hope in parts of the world where they're being mass murdered over the oil industry, that the Messiah is real. He doesn't claim to be a god. He never has. Okay, which most of them, if they're good Muslims, understand and know this. And that I am alive and I work every day at correcting the technology used to try to insanely justify mass murder of people because they see us as a science project and not life given to you. And when you see this snake and this badger go at it right here, right? You know, you sit there and science says, how can there be a God? Okay, Muhammad, the sir of the cow, right? The cow is a cow for a reason, and a man is a man for a reason. And Dad talked about this today too. You cannot worship the cow. Okay, but you can worship God and understand why you are a man and a cow is a cow. Okay? Which is why human beings eat cows, but cows typically don't eat human beings. Okay? But leopards will eat you if you're a child and they're hungry and you know there's no adult around to pose a threat to kill them. Right? Okay. So why doesn't that leopard just run? It's faster than badgers. It's fighting these badgers and it's sitting there. And you're like looking at it. I wonder if any of it has to do with the pheromones and the reactions to the things with opposable thumbs that are the most dangerous thing in the world. You just sit and you watch a lot of these things, and this is nature, and this is what happens. It's like, no, they're not acting right. You know, the leopard, if you run into something like that you're hunting, and it gets that vicious, and you're going to go run and look for something else to go eat. Okay? You're not going to stand there and duke it out. You know, that's something they do in the Green Berets. That's what Marines do. There was a guy in prison, and a guy started to bully him, but he didn't know he was Shaolin Master Hunky Chunky Foe. With little best friends with Billy Chong? Yes. It was a little bit frightening, wasn't it? They were fast as lightning, right? I still like that song. I got it on MP3. It's dorky and dumb. Yeah, but it was from the 1970s, and we were dorky and dumb in the 1970s. You have to cut us a break. You just listen to it and go, God damn, we were dumb. And we're dumber now? No, we're not. No. We're not dumber now. There's a capacity for more intelligence, but there's more insanity because we're manipulated by insane people with technology that have no duty to retreat and think that they're going to win because they're better and they're right. They're insane, yes. But that doesn't mean people are getting dumber. It just means that they're being abused and it's getting harder because the abuse is getting more insidious and disgusting. Okay, guys? I love you. So, I do wish that, if Donald Trump watches this, that he, gets up and stands up for the Lord's Prayer. I don't think they would 86-47 or whatever. No. If he did, no, I think it would be the most beautiful, brave, intelligent things that he's ever done in the history of his family. And he wouldn't need the bell from King Charles anymore because he'd be right on a par with Trini Lopez. I'm just kidding. If I had a bell, I've got a hammer. I got a bell, and I got a song too. I'm being silly. Ooh. We'll talk tomorrow, okay? I love you guys. I hope this one loads faster than the last one, because I ain't going to go soak in the tub. All right, peace out.